asking this morning whether it's time to rein in the royal family. The Queen in line for a 6.5% pay rise. She could get a cool £45.6 million from the taxpayer next year. Of course, she does pay in a lot to the coffers, and she only gets a percentage of what she pays in. But, never mind her. What about Prince Charles? Does he need 3 chauffeurs? Does he? Do the royals need to spend £500,000 on wine and spirits a year and £700,000 on laundry? And does Princess Beatrice need all them holidays? She's in Monaco right now. Richard Taylor's a blogger. Morning, Richard.
Good morning, Paul.
God save our gracious Queen. Long live our noble Queen. God save our Queen.
Well, I've got no problem with keeping the royal family for what they do for tourism, and some of them do to promote British business and just the image of Britain overseas. But really, my big concern is the role that they have in running our country still. We still have all our judges, magistrates, MPs, police, army officers, all take an oath to the Queen. And that means that someone like me who believes in democracy couldn't, in all due conscience, become a judge or a police officer and take that oath. And it's a real problem when it comes to things like policing. I've talked to lots of people in the run-up to having a police and crime commissioner, and quite often people will say, well, actually, we don't need to worry about what our elected representatives say and what strategy they set. The police will do the right thing because they serve the Queen. And sometimes we read from senior army generals, for example, people commenting on what would happen if Jeremy Corbyn, who doesn't believe in using the Trident nuclear deterrent, became our Prime Minister. They say, well, actually, it doesn't matter what the Prime Minister says, we'll serve the Queen and we'll serve the country, when actually in reality that just isn't the case. We do have a democracy here, but we just haven't quite completed our very slow revolution, and we haven't quite fully got rid of the hereditary monarch from the way that we run our country. We really must and should do that so that it's clear to everybody that democracy matters, and actually it is the Prime Minister and our elected representatives who really run this place. We've got to stop this nonsense of the Queen signing off on Acts of Parliament and them occasionally being delayed because she's up in Scotland rather than in London and can't sign them for a couple of days. Like even now with us leaving the European Union, some people are suggesting, oh, well, maybe the Queen will make it all right. The Queen will refuse to sign whatever act it is which comes up to take us out, but that's just a distraction. It's not going to happen. So we just need to get rid of the royal family's role in running our country.
So you sideline them to a certain degree, and then just put them in the cupboard and wheel them out when they were required for a bit of tourism dollar.
That's pretty much it. I'm not coming on here and saying sort of off with their heads or anything like that. We certainly need to. The only ones that we should give any kind of public money to are like the monarch and perhaps the next in line. Like we should follow what Denmark has done and cut off all the minor royals from any sort of public funding. And we need to remember that when we say that the royals have got some kind of personal sources of income from the Duchy of Cornwall, the Crown Estate, Duchy of Lancaster, that's all a complete nonsense. These are all public assets. Like the Crown Estate should be renamed the National Estate. It is a public body. We should all be able to influence it.
That's our money, is it? We could have that.
Yeah, and that would affect us all directly in Cambridge. In Cambridge, lots of the business park in Cambridge is owned by the Crown Estate, lots of office buildings in the city, and it should be our local councillors who decide how those are run. And things like think of if we sold all that off. Think of the money we could spend on the NHS. Well, you don't sell it off. You just you get the rents in all the time, and you get the money to spend, and we use it for the benefit of Cambridge and the country. Yeah, so it's not a one-off. It's not just we have it brings us all benefits.
So rather on 1,500 bottles of Chateauneuf de Pape for Prince Charles, we could spend it on some doctors and nurses.
Well, or anything we like. It can reduce our taxes, just as in Cambridge we've got these car parks that mean we can have lower council tax than we otherwise would. Have we just use all these assets to do whatever we want?
How many would you keep if you were having a cull of the royal family? How many? Where are you going to draw the line? You're going to go what? Queen, Prince Charles, Harry, William. Has Princess Anne got to go?
I think you've got it. I think we need to. You go down as far as Prince William, perhaps, to give them, and then
who's going to look after Beatrice? Because she needs money for holidays, doesn't she?
Well, you let them survive on their own, and they probably could still.
She'd have to get a chroma.
They could still call themselves a royal. You can still sort of sell that off for money around the world, can't you? You can still give after-dinner speeches or make appearances if you want to, or they go off and do their own thing.
So let me just get this straight then. We're going Queen, Prince Philip. Yeah, we're keeping him.
Yeah.
Harry.
Not so. No, probably not.
No.
I think we'll just let his brother.
William and Kate. William and Kate and the little ones.
Well, if you've got, I suppose if we really have to.
2, 4, 5, 6. So we're keeping 6 of them. Is that it?
Yeah, and we'll hope that they'll make their money back on the tourism. Like we can, you know, when you go to a National Trust house sometimes, and someone's given the house to the National Trust, but the family is still there, living in one of the wings or living in the gatehouse. Yeah. We can have that kind of arrangement where we'll just let them carry on until they slowly fade out.
And then close it down.
And then,
Richard, thank you for that. That's Richard's point of view. Cut it down to about 6. Peter from Chatteris says, I've never heard so much rubbish come out of one guy's mouth. The Queen does a hell of a lot of work for the country, says Peter from Chatteris. Well, yeah, but he's going to keep the Queen and Prince Philip and William and Kate and the 2 little fellas.